And a beautiful good afternoon, resounding good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome once again to Make Some Intelligent Noise, the voice that advocates for the people that may not have a voice. I resonate your voice here at WHGE 95.3 FM. I am Rachelle Wilson, your professional journalist and your hostess, your informationor, and I'm here on Saturday, October the 7th, 2023, to share my thoughts with you. And I pray that we will be able to intellectualize these thoughts together. Together, we are stronger than we are individually. So let us come together, join forces as a powerful voice, as a powerful movement to make some intelligent noise for the justice systems, the injustice of the justice systems. Let's make it right. The wheel of the justice system has been moving perfectly in sync the way it was created. We can change that, you and I, ladies and gentlemen, but we've got to do it together. It's the only way we're going to change it. I am a voice as a mother, as a journalist, and as an advocate. It is my brand to interview the elected public servants in the state of Delaware. That's what I do. I ask them the questions that you want the answers to. And so, moving forward, that is what I will continue to do. I will ask the tough questions. I can be respectful and ask tough questions. All right? You can do that. And I've learned how to do that. So, pardon me to my friends and family on Facebook. I'm so sorry. My stand fell over. Peace and grace, Elise Bennett. How are you? Thank you for watching. Thank you for chiming in today. If you have a question, if you have a statement or a comment, please feel free to write it here on the board, and I will certainly do my best to ask the question. So today I want to make a little bit of an announcement. There's a couple of things that have crossed my mind. There's always so much going on in the world, but since I kind of play around a lot, seriously, but I do play around a lot with our elected public servants. And so politics and politicians are the people that I find the most engaging and interesting. And that is nothing against my advocates, who are always informative and intellectual whenever I have them here on my show. But I've got to tell you what's happening. You know, Congress has shut down. They're getting rid of people, and they're voting folks out. What's up with that? Like, you know, when everyone is against you, I think that's a moment to look in the mirror and take a self-reflection, take a self-evaluation, a self-assessment of who you are. When you're out there, allegedly working to help the people in the community, and yet all of your colleagues do not agree with you. There's a message in there somewhere, ladies and gentlemen. Where it is exactly, I suppose each one of us has to come to a conclusion of what that message is. But, I just find it interesting, I'm not going to go overboard today about the Trumpster, because that's just something, it's almost old news. He showed up in the courtroom only for the camera photo ops. I really believe that. But the analysts are saying on much of our mainstream media that all of this is actually causing his supporters to be that much more linked in and connected with Donald J. Trump. I I mean, how many crimes do you have to commit before you see that someone needs rehabilitation? At least rehabilitation. How many crimes do you have to commit? And I assure you, ladies and gentlemen, I've said this before and you already know it. I don't even have to repeat it. There's no way in America, on American soil, that a black man, black woman, a Latin American, Hispanic, anyone of melanated skin, Indian, Native American, there's no way that we could be charged with anywhere from 60 to 161 charges of criminal offenses and still be walking around the streets, hanging out at our summer homes. There's no way that it would happen for us. And yet, there are people such as Donald J. Trump who are privileged to be able to do that. If you don't see a problem in the injustice of the justice system, then you need to take the blinders off. Have a reality check, ladies and gentlemen. And this is what I'm saying, make some intelligent noise. The justice movement is all about. I'm a straight snitch whistleblower, and I need you to join me. I need you to join me so that together we stand strong and we can blow the whistle, snitch out the truth of the matter. Judges in America are prejudiced. They have their own political agendas. Some people can walk away while others are detained. Now it's my understanding that the bail system in California, if I'm not mistaken, has been alleviated. People who cannot afford to pay a bail to get out, and they don't have serious felony crimes, felonious crimes, they will be released on their own recognizance, ROR. And I say, perhaps that's not a bad thing, actually. It kind of frees up the prison system. It kind of helps out the correctional officers, pardon me, who are so overworked and overwhelmed that they begin to behave even worse than the people who have been locked up for crimes, for felonious crimes. I just spoke with a dear sister. Well, I didn't speak with her, but we communicated via messaging. Her husband was brutally beat and attacked by the correction officers in Kentucky. And there's been no remedy or recourse for that. Why does it take 4 or 5 correctional officers to detain or correct one single prisoner? Why? Why does it take 4 or 5 of them? Because they are beating up on this man and many across America. It's not just happening in Kentucky. It's happening all across America. Correctional officers are beating up on the people, our family, your loved ones and mine, inside of the prisons because they're stressed out. They're overworked, pulling 18-hour shifts, locked behind prison doors just as if they were a prisoner. And in many ways, for 18 hours, they are prisoners to their jobs. And it's not that much money. I assure you it's not that much money. So if they're not beating up on their wives and girlfriends, they're beating up on the people who are incarcerated. That's your family and mine. But we sit back and we bitch and complain and moan about it. But what do? We've got to start doing something, and we must hold judges accountable. I've been saying that since I began this movement. Judges sit on those benches. The bench is the bank. In the etymology of the word, a bench is a bank, and a bank is a bank. The business and proceedings of the court of the day is about money. You are charged like a credit card. Your QSIP number is charged like a credit card for every crime that you allegedly commit. It's a bank, and judges have no right, no authority to get away with allowing some people for 60 or more crimes to walk free while other people have to sit in a prison cell. If you're the wrong color, you sit in a prison cell. And it's not right. But we complain and we moan and groan about it. But what do we do about it? What are we, the people, doing about it? I started Make Some Intelligent Noise to be impactful and to be proactive in making changes. I'm one voice, and trust me when I tell you, I am a strong voice in the community. I believe that I have the social equity. The people trust me enough to be a voice and to speak out on the concerns that matter most to our people in the community. But ladies and gentlemen, as strong as I am individually, I would be that much stronger if you joined me. Join me. Become a part of this movement that holds judges accountable, that demands Legislative Hall and all of the people on the Judicial Oversight Committee that they actually be proactive in vetting these judges. And why do judges get to sit on the bench once they're appointed? They're allowed, if they want to, sit on the bench, the bank, forever until the day they die. Who made up that rule? Where did that all come from? We've got Supreme Court justices who are appointed by the president, and some of them have not been vetted in the best interests of the people, and yet they sit on the Supreme Court, and no one will ever take them down until they die or they just decide to leave. That's a problem. That is a problem. Do you not see that that is a problem? I know that somebody else sees this. Peace and grace, Rosemary Elwood. Peace and grace, JB. How are you, my dear? 100, honey, 100. Thank you so much for chiming in. I made it. I made it in, JB. I made it in. At what point, ladies and gentlemen, at what point do we, the people, stand up and say enough is enough? We must hold judges accountable. How many of us have walked into a house of court, the rooms, allegedly the courtrooms? How many times have we walked in with our family, or we ourselves were the person who was defending ourselves? And they even put on the paper, you're the defendant. Remember, language has power. Language has power. Why are you the defendant? Look the word up in the etymology. Look it up in your Oxford Dictionary or your Black's Law Dictionary and find out what the word defendant means and what inference or what that means to a judge when he sees the word defendant. You got to know what language means in a courtroom. But how many of us have walked into a courtroom, especially if we had sons and family, husbands, brothers who are black, brown, and golden men, especially. But for any of us, we walk into these courtrooms as defendants, and we're basically thrown under the bus. Why? And what are we going to do about it other than sit around the dinner table and just complain, moan and groan, but we do nothing, and it just continues, the wheel just continues to go. The injustice of the justice system just continues to go round and round and round and round on the bus. And guess what? My people are under that bus. And I've had enough of it. And yes, I will continue to be a voice of advocacy. But I've got to tell you, much like Timeless Thomas, my beloved Timeless Thomas, I love you so much, baby. I have tried for years to get you to join me. Let us literally come together physically, on a Zoom, over the internet, on social media. Do what we have to do. Come together and let's stand as one, fist up for Black power. Let's take our power back, ladies and gentlemen, and it starts with holding judges accountable. We would not have such erroneous, massive incarceration of our Black, brown, and golden men if judges were held accountable to their sentencings. Let them stay within the guidelines. Yes, of course they have a level of discretion. If it says in the guidelines it's between 4 years and 10 years, well, certainly it's a judge's discretion. He can say 5, he can say 6, he might say 10, he could say 4. But let's really look at the cases that he is judging. What is the age of the people that are standing in front of this judge? How old are they? Have they developed? Is their amygdala fully developed yet? Are they able to reason and to intellectualize information, to process it? Do they have mental concerns? Are we dealing with mental issues? And please do not ignore that attention deficit disorder is a real disorder. And I can't tell you how many of our little boys and girls are running around in 2023 with attention deficit disorder. Does the judge take any of that into account before he puts out his sentence? Peace and grace, Samantha Hollins. How are you, my dear? Blessings to you. Ronnie Anderson, what's up, man? How you doing? Thank you so much for chiming in today. I really appreciate you. Attention deficit disorder is a real disorder. But how many of us, let's say the mom or the dad or the sister or the brother, the families of these loved ones who are being charged like you charge your credit card, your QSIP number is being charged. How many of us recognize the language of the courtroom that if we were to step in there, that we could actually perhaps even defend the defendant? Ladies and gentlemen, I've got to tell you there's just no holds bar. And I'm telling you, I have paid my dues in the American courtrooms. I've lost some and I've won many. But you got to lose some. It's kind of like learning how to roller skate. You fall down a few times in order to learn how to get around the roller rink. And I have fallen down a few times in the courthouse and paid the price for it. Paid the price for it. I was charged and paid the price. But when you fall down and you get back up and you continue to go to courts, houses of courts, rooms of court, these courthouse buildings that are called courthouses, these buildings where the judges are, the prosecutors, the defense attorneys, right? All of these barristers are there. And you walk in. You're going to defend yourself. You make a special appearance and you're going to defend yourself, or perhaps your child or your family, your loved one. And do not think for 1 second that it cannot happen to you. The moment you think it will not happen to me is the moment it happens to you. All of us can become victims in the rooms of court. But we can lessen that if we stand together and demand judicial accountability, judicial oversight boards that are watching what these judges are doing. And when a judge knows that he's being watched and he's being monitored and held accountable for his sentences, he or she, the judge, will begin to judge differently. accurately, with accountability, and perhaps, maybe, we can get some fairness and equity out of them. So even if I don't look like Donald Trump, if my name is not Donald Trump, I still get to walk home tonight. I still get to leave and go home tonight. You don't have to be Donald Trump in order to leave and go home tonight instead of going to prison. When will my voice, my cry out for you to join me in this movement, when will it be heard? When will I have hundreds of thousands of people meet me on the steps of the governmental building and we rally together and demand change? Meet me at Legislative Hall. Meet me at Legislative Hall. 500,000 of us from all over the state of Delaware or Kentucky or California or wherever it is. Let's go. I'll meet you there on the steps and demand change nationally. Nationally. I can't do it by myself. I can try. I have tried. But I know that I would be empowered, stronger together with you. So that's me on my soapbox about judges and accountability. But just to finish my sentence, because I did leave it kind of hanging in the air. How many times have we walked into courtrooms, rooms of court, as the defendant, and we were either carted off to prison, a holding cell, or we were given fines and fees that were so astronomical that we had to choose between paying the fine and the fee or paying our car insurance or rent for the month. The courts don't care if you're homeless or you can't drive to work every day. They don't care about that. It's a bank. Remember that, ladies and gentlemen. The bench is the bank. You got to know the language. You got to know the language. And you got to know how to defend yourself if you are the defendant. We got to hold judges accountable. I really believe that. I really do. So moving forward from there, I wanted to say something really quick here. If I can just find it, if you will just please bear with me. One moment, ladies and gentlemen. I do apologize. I had to step away for just a moment and turn the air conditioner on. Sometimes I get emotional. I'm 60 years old. I'm allowed to get emotional and have my own private summer. Every now and then I'm allowed to have a July and October. But I wanted to bring something to your attention because I was reading up on it. Peace and grace, Reginald Mann Fletcher. How are you? Thank you so much for joining. Thank you for staying locked in to make some intelligent noise. I really, truly appreciate you. I wanted to share with you, and many of us may know, the Rainbow Coalition. It was pretty much started April 4th, 1969 in Chicago, Illinois, by Fred Hampton of the Black Panther Party. Along with William Preacher Man Fesperman of the Young Patriots Organization and Jose Chacha Jimenez, founder of the Young Lords. It was the first of several 20th century black-led organizations to use the concept Rainbow Coalition. And I think what brought me to look for that, I was watching someone on TikTok, a born woman, a person who was born as a woman, and prefers to date other women. She called herself queer. So if she called herself queer, I suppose it's all right if I call her queer. I don't know if that's politically correct or incorrect, but she called herself queer, so I don't know what do I call her? At any rate, I'm looking at her on TikTok, and she's talking about rainbow, the rainbow flag. And I wanted to know, where did that come from? What year did the rainbow flag become the mantra for people in the LGBTQR plus community? And I did a rainbow, a Google, and Rainbow Coalition came up with Fred Hampton. And as I read through it and realized, again, April 4th, 1969, Fred Hampton of the Black Panther Party started the Rainbow Coalition along with the Latin American population in order to bring justice to the communities. They joined together. They call themselves Rainbow because it was the black, brown, golden people. It was people of color had come together and decided to stand together in solidarity and fight for the same causes like jobs, better health care, better education, certainly, against police brutality. Many of us know the Black Panther Party suffered its fair share of police brutality. Fred Hampton is dead today. And they call me a conspiracy theorist, all right, but we know that the government knows who killed Fred Hampton, just like they know who killed John F. Kennedy and Robert Kennedy as well. But that's another story. I think what mattered to me, I ended up asking myself the question, if the Rainbow Coalition started by the Black Panther Party, joining people together of different nationalities for one single cause, to make the community safer, better, and well-rounded, equal and fair, how is it that the LGBTQR plus community adopted the rainbow flag? How did that happen? I feel like there may be some plagiarism involved here. If the Rainbow Coalition started in 1969, and then later the LGBTQR plus population community adopted the rainbow flag as their mantra, did they or did they not steal something that did not belong to them? How can you take the rainbow flag, make it your own when it already existed to a whole different movement, an entirely different coalition? I'm not sure. Maybe you can answer the question for me. Maybe you can bring clarity, and let's intellectualize on this question. How did the LGBTQR plus community adopt the rainbow flag as their mantra, their brand, when it already belonged to the Black Panther Party, the Latin American Young Lords, and our Native American communities? They adopted that and created that in 1969. Is that plagiarism? Have they stolen something that wasn't rightfully or legally, lawfully theirs? You answer the question, because I'm still doing the research and I don't get it. Are we allowed to do that? Pardon me. Are we allowed to do that? Can we just do that? I don't know. In America, almost anything is possible nowadays. But I just wanted to make sure that it's on the record. Put it on the record that the flag, the rainbow flag with all those beautiful, lovely colors, and just this year they added the color black to it. Just this year, 2023, they added a black stripe in there to represent the black LGBTQR plus community. I don't know. I want to set the record straight. Fred Hampton, we give you credit. We give you the credit for the rainbow flag and the Rainbow Coalition. We give you credit, Fred Hampton. God rest your soul. May you rest in paradise, brother, of the Black Panthers. So I wanted to set the record straight. Unless they had their flag prior to 1969, they stole it. And that's just the fact. That's just the fact. Unless theirs was before April 4th, 1969, they stole it. And I don't think that they're allowed to do that. But again, anything is possible here in America, right? So many of us know that right now, as I am speaking here on the radio, even though it's a great rainy day, just a beautiful day to curl up to a good blankie, perhaps a nice cup of tea, and a good conversation, and turn on the radio and listen to Rachelle Wilson make some intelligent noise. I promise, if I don't do anything else, I'm going to make love to your intellectualizing, processing properties. I am. I'm going to give you something to think about, and you don't have to agree with me. That's the beauty of it, is that we can dialogue and agree to disagree. I'm all right with that. I love that. So we're allowed to do that. And if I am saying anything or have said anything that you don't agree with, please feel free to shoot me an email or a message. Let me know your thoughts. I'm not afraid to engage you in a conversation. Most of everything that I say, I'd say 99% of everything I broadcast, I have already done the research on it. Some research more extensive than others, so maybe you have more information than me on a particular topic or subject. I would love to hear what you have to say. So be my friend on Facebook. You can message me anytime. I'm also always on YouTube. I'm starting my Patreon. I tell you, writer's block is crazy. I was up at 4:30 this morning writing my book. That I am posting to Patreon, and thank you so much for being a supporter and a subscriber to my Patreon app. It's not just about the money, because I think it's only $1 or $2 or something like that to join. It's about knowing that you're there. It's about knowing that you're there, and that my story you find interesting and intriguing enough that you're willing to pay $1 for it. So join me on my Patreon at Rachelle Wilson. But if you want to send me a message, you can certainly do that through Messenger on my Facebook app, or you can always email me. I have no problem with accepting your emails. Let's talk about it. MSINMVMT@gmail.com. Shoot me an email and let me know your thoughts. Let me tell you what that is again in case you missed it. Make some intelligent noise. Movement. M as in Mary, V as in Victory, M as in Mark, and T as in Tom. Movement @gmail.com. Shoot me an email and let me know your thoughts. What do you think about what I'm saying today? Because I'm here to make some intelligent noise. And as I move forward, as I stated, today is a great day to sit back. In my personal opinion, it's a great day to hang out, with a nice blankie, or, just snuggled up somewhere, maybe playing footsies with your lover, whoever, your bestie might be, play footsies, and just listen to the radio. But there are some of us who were at the Kirkwood Park today for Harmon Carey's 27th annual African American Family Fun Festival. I had been asked to be master of ceremony for that event. But you know, it comes a point in life where you just have to stop being a volunteer and you got to know your worth. And I do know my worth, ladies and gentlemen. I do know my worth and what I'm entitled to financially. So I am not master of ceremony, but I will be heading over there just to show some love and support for a few minutes. Going to hang out over at the Kirkwood Park here in Wilmington, Delaware for Harmon Carey's African American Family Fun Festival happening right now at Kirkwood Park. All right. So even though it's raining, it's still a great day to socialize and engage. But I want to leave you with this message from Brother John Muhammad, who corrected me and said that the boys' meeting is strictly for the boys. It is strictly manhood training for these young fellas to learn how to behave and how to navigate their way through their youth, their teenage years. Brother John Muhammad is doing that. But because there was so much kickback, why are you doing it just for the boys? Now there is something also for the girls. So I want to let you know, it's called Girls Can Do Anything. And that is coming October 21st, Saturday, October 21st. Girls Can Do Anything with the One Village Alliance and Brother John Muhammad. Black Girls Heal, affirming the healing power that resides within Black indigenous girls of color. All right, so October 21st, we'll be talking about that more as we get closer. I will not be attending that because my calendar says that on October 21st, 2023, I will be sitting in the hot seat. I will have in the hot seat with me none other than Lieutenant Governor Dr. Bethany Hall Long will be joining me right at the hot seat at Red Room Recording Studios on October 21st. So you do not want to miss that. If you would like to see, watch, and listen to that interview with the Lieutenant Governor, please join me on Facebook. Join me on my Spotify. You must become a member. Subscribe to my Spotify so that you can listen to that interview live. And if you have a question, you can ask me a question on my Facebook page. All right? Live, right then and there on camera. So I'm so excited to do that. October 21st at 1:00 p.m. Join me for an interview, an extensive interview where we are going to talk with Lieutenant Governor Bethany Hall Long about her movement from the past and where she's going in the future. All right, I'm Rachelle Wilson here to make some intelligent noise. I promise you that God loves you the most, but I do love you. I pray you are well. You take care of yourself, be good to yourself, and be good to other people as well. Take care, everyone. God bless, and have a great and amazing day. Peace and grace, friends and family on Facebook. How are you? I really pray. Please join me October 21st for Lieutenant Governor Dr. Bethany Hall Long. I'd love to know what questions you have for her. Would be more than happy to answer those questions if you just shoot them to me and let me know what they are. Also, October 11th, none other than Representative Stephanie T. Bolden will also be joining me over at the Red Room Recording Studios, to which I pray you will chime in for that interview as well. Until then, God bless you and God loves you. Peace and grace.